Hi guys, we're here today for our next edition of our 20 businesses in 20 weeks. Long-standing business in Hoddesdon, Ashbourne Insurance. Let's go in and see what these guys are about. Hi guys, we're here today with Peter from Ashbourne.
Hi, how are you doing?
How are we doing, Peter? You okay?
I'm good, thank you.
So Peter, as part of our 20 businesses in 20 weeks, Ashbourne Insurance, long-standing.
45 years old this year, or 45 years young, as I like to say.
45 years young. For those watching, you weren't there from the beginning to confirm, right?
Absolutely. The business started by my father-in-law.
So your father-in-law started?
Yep.
Okay.
And then, not in any particular order, but myself, my wife and my brother-in-law, so his daughter and son, were working in the business. That was in 1991 we started. Developed over a period of time, multiple locations, diversified from basically a high street motor broker, back in the day when everyone bought their car insurance on the high street.
There you go, on the high street, I remember that.
Diversified into more of a commercial scenario. Just we think that our offering, where we're very much all about relationship and rapport, it's better suited to the smaller businesses rather than just tic-tac-toe and buying car insurance. Migrated down into one unit, and then we took the business over in 2008, and then my son joined the business about 6 years ago.
So if we go back, 1991. Yep. What's Peter started as? What was your background before? What did you come in 1991 doing?
So my background in a previous life was travel. I worked in the travel industry for years and years and years.
As in a travel agent? Or?
Yeah, worked for different companies in London, doing various things. Had great fun, saw the world, but realised that I was never going to make any money. And was married to my wife, and my father-in-law was at a bit of a crossroads, and he approached me and said, look, I need another layer of management in the business. Would you be interested in coming and joining me?
And how many people were in Ashbourne at that time?
At that time, 29.
29 people?
Yeah, we back in the day, because there was no digitalisation, for every 3 salespeople you needed 1 administrator.
Okay.
Handheld proposal forms, cover notes, proof of bonus proofs. It's very, very manual process.
Yeah.
Over time, we've actually reduced staff numbers purely simply because we can take advantage of digitalisation. So.
Okay. And what was it like? Tell us about those first 6 months. You've different industry.
Yeah,
how was it if you go back?
It was a real eye-opener, right? I often say to people here that coming from the travel industry, I never had any problem collecting money. Everyone wanted to pay me because it was their 2 weeks of escapism, wasn't it? It was they couldn't wait to give you the money. I came into the insurance industry and realised that no one wants to pay you.
So when we say no one wants to pay you, what do you mean? Because with the travel?
Well, with the travel,
no money, no flight, right?
Correct. Well, but or they're buying something that is aspirational, isn't it? They're buying their holiday, their escapism, their trip home, their this, that, and that. I mean, let's face it, no one wants to buy insurance, do they?
But it's needed.
It is, absolutely. And I think therein lies the sort of ethos, if you like, of what our business is about, in that we don't try and sell travel insurance, we don't try and sell insurance. We try and educate you on what is the right solution for you. And it's not just about stacking it high and selling it cheap, it's about getting the right solution that is competitive and giving you complete peace of mind so that you know, God forbid there's a catastrophe, you're covered.
Okay. So if we rewind back to when you joined in 1991, 35 years ago, right? If I'm doing my numbers right there, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. What might have been different then, apart from the digitalisation? What trends have you seen? What's happened in the insurance industry in those 35 years?
Funny enough, we were looking at this recently. The costs were less. There was less fraud, which obviously impacts on people's claims. It was less sophisticated, which meant it was more time consuming.
Okay.
Back in the day, if you had your car stolen off your drive, God forbid, you'd wait 6 weeks before they'd even make you an offer. Right. Now, we're getting total loss claims settled within 24 hours. Money in people's bank accounts.
What, when a car's been stolen? Is that because the reality is they've given up on trying to solve the crime. They realise, because there's a lot of these cars are going missing now.
They are.
A particular type of car in London,
Yes.
from what I hear, is costing thousands and thousands to insure.
One of the largest motor insurers in the UK will tell you that 2/3 of all theft going back 3 years was a Range Rover Sport.
It was a Range Rover, yeah, which is a car that I was.
Yeah.
Very...
The reason that everything's speeded up is not just digitalisation, but actually now there's so much more information that's available to people quicker. I think insurers have realised that the quicker they make an assessment, the quicker they make an offer, the quicker they move on, the cheaper the claim is.
What have the cars found?
Then the insurer reserves the right to retain that salvage. So as soon as so your car goes missing, they take your logbook off you, they effectively are buying the car off you.
Right, okay.
And if it's recovered, they retain the salvage.
So they'll take the car. What as a rough percentage, how many are found?
I would think it's somewhere in the region between 20 and 30%, depending on the insurer and depending on the vehicle type.
So some of these cars they're not all gone forever?
No, I mean, one of the trends is that they will get stolen, the vehicle will get dumped somewhere, left for 2 or 3 days. Yeah. If they go back and it's still there, great. If it's not, it's because it's got a tracker fitted and someone's recovered it or whatever it may be.
Okay.
So yeah, it's chalk and cheese. The one thing that has stayed the same though, certainly for us, is that relationship and rapport bit. We haven't tried to hide behind computers, AI or whatever it may be. We do use some of those tools in the background, but actually building relationship and rapport is still what it's about. And I believe it's still a people business.
Well, obviously we're coming from an estate agency background, and likewise, yes, there's all sorts of AI out there at the moment. There's all sorts of tools available to help you, not necessarily to do your job.
Correct.
People will still want to talk to someone. Yeah. There's nothing more frustrating than when you dial a phone number and press this option, press that option. You're going round in circles, and really what you're thinking is, I just want to talk to someone. And I'm assuming that's where Ashbourne
absolutely, yeah, we
come into play.
Exactly that. I mean, just to hit the nail on the head, we don't have an automated phone system.
Okay.
So if you ring the number, the first person you speak to is a human being. And you know, my ethos is within the building, even if it's the office junior that picks up that phone, he's got the responsibility to make sure that that message is delivered to the right person to help someone. Yeah, it's you know, I know that the trend, certainly in terms of car insurance, is, you know, online via the aggregators, and you know, you see adverts for car insurance everywhere. But I still think there is a place for that personal service. I still think there are people that recognise the value that we can bring, and we have to remain competitive. You know, we wouldn't have been around 45 years if we weren't competitive.
So in the 35 years that you've been here, what kind of changes, you with your wife and your brother-in-law, what kind of changes did you maybe see that you thought we need to maybe go down that road or go down that road? Or I mean, it was an established business already, right?
Yeah. I think certainly computerisation and digitalisation has helped. You know, being able to respond quickly to requests, being able to fulfil a demand quickly, because, you know, not every person wakes up 6 weeks before their insurance renewal is due, particularly a complex commercial one, and says, right, I need to sit down and get the facts and the figures. So, you know, us having to be much more proactive with our customers, getting the information that we need in a timely fashion, delivering that to insurers in a way, I think that gives us our superpower. And also I think now, what we do as a fundamental, in that if you buy insurance today, you can speak to Peter. If you change your car next week, you can speak to Peter. If you have a claim, unfortunately, in 3 months' time, you can speak to Peter. And that is becoming less and less of a business model now. And I think there are those that appreciate that.
So, walking through your office today, I mean, you were saying you can speak to Peter, like, you know, numerous times there. But you're also managing people, I'm assuming, and making sure that, and how do you find that, trying to balance you could talk to Peter with...
Yeah, I think in my role, obviously as managing director, there's a lot of responsibility for day-to-day compliance, regulation, and also business management that I have to have. So I am limited in terms of the customers that I deal with, just because I can't manage everything. But I still do retain probably about 12 to 18 customers. But the other guys will deal with that stuff. We have guys that are responsible for generating new business opportunities, guys that are responsible for managing existing relationships.
Yeah.
But you know, you never make a sale or start a relationship on the basis that you're never going to talk to that person again. And that's the way we train and, you know, reinforce that message with our staff.
Okay. So Peter, for anyone watching this now, who should be calling Ashbourne today? Who's like, you know, who should call you for your services?
First of all, a little bit of a pun for you. Anyone who buys their insurance online should probably give me a call.
Okay.
You've heard of plug and play?
No.
In terms of computers, they talk about plug and play.
Yeah.
Well, if you buy your insurance online, it's press and pray. So
right, okay.
those sort of people should do. Ideally, I think we can add real value to the small business owner. It doesn't really matter what the trade is, but if they're in our locality, in the local industrial estates or the high streets or the business parks, we can add value to your insurance solution. We will do an assessment, we will break it down and say, look, here's where we think the gaps are, or here's where we think you're over-insured, because that can happen quite a lot.
Right.
And this is a solution that we can provide. If that's something you're interested in, fantastic, let's have a conversation. If it's not, at least you know exactly where you stand.
So a small to medium business should definitely be ringing you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything from...
Or contacting you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we will, as I say, and we're an independent broker, so we're not tied to any one insurer.
Okay.
I think I've got about 84 different contracts with different insurers.
Right.
So at any one time, when we do a market search, we can guarantee you that we've looked at virtually everyone that's going to offer cover for that type of risk.
Okay. So you mentioned online, so, you know, why don't we look at maybe what 2 or 3 of the benefits would be using an independent high street brokerage as opposed to an online option?
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
would 2 or 3 benefits look like?
So what I would say to you is, and a lot of people don't realise this, that if you buy your insurance online, you become the broker. It's your decision. So whether you're on Go Compare, Compare the Market, or just a direct to our website, you are choosing your solution. If it's not fit for purpose and it's wrong, you've got no right of recourse, because it's a non-advised sale and it was your choice. If you come to a broker, you get advice. If we advise you something that's incorrect and it's not fit for purpose, you have right of recourse. Okay. So in the first instance, that's where we can add an extra layer of peace of mind.
So a lot of the liability may fall on your doorstep as opposed to theirs.
Correct. So
if there was a
yeah, and it focuses the mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if we know that there's comeback, then we're going to make sure that we know what the risk is and what the best solution is. Those policies that are sold online tend to be of the budget variety. So you'll often find that some of the benefits that you think might automatically be included would be excluded.
Okay.
So you're not always... I've always maintained actually that if you did a like-for-like comparison between cover, between what you'd purchase online and what you purchase from me, I'd be cheaper.
Okay.
But you're not buying the same thing.
Yeah. And likewise, if you're some young person finishing school and looking at different careers, who should be thinking insurance?
We've got an apprenticeship. Yeah, we've got an apprenticeship program.
Okay.
So we love to promote from within, and we love to see our apprentices start perhaps in our administration section, then progress through sales, either retail or commercial. What I would say is insurance doesn't have a particularly great reputation. A lot of the young lads like working in estate agency, don't they? Because they think, you know, big house and sales and all this sort of stuff.
I think they like it until they work there for a few weeks and then realise it's not all glamour.
Insurance is quite a dry topic. It's not a particularly sexy subject, but what I will say is the people that do well with us are those that are interested in building relationship and rapport. Okay. You know, I don't want my staff to grow old with me. I want a real eclectic mix of people, young, old, male, female, absolutely everyone, because there's someone for everyone out there. And, you know, Peter might not appeal to that person today, but someone else will. And the young guys come in with a lot of fresh ideas these days.
Yeah.
You know, and if we can learn something from that, adapt it into what our business is, and if they can grow and move with it, then you could make a very good success out of this.
So going back to the apprentice scheme, how long have you been running that for?
Post-COVID, so probably like most industries, we've been struggling with staffing post-lockdowns and COVIDs. The local enterprise partnership recommended to me about doing perhaps an apprenticeship scheme. I looked into it. Didn't have a great deal of success in the first 2 instances, but certainly the last 3 we've appointed, and we appoint 1 pretty much every year,
Okay.
because then they will go on to promote, and effectively the apprentice becomes the next apprentice's mentor.
Okay.
And it's worked really well.
Yeah.
It's worked really well.
And are there any success stories as we're walking through today that
People, you mean, or
people that have come through your apprentice scheme or?
Yeah, we've got, as I say, we've got 3 guys with us at the moment.
Okay.
One is just coming to the end of his apprenticeship, so he's been with us 18 months. Apprenticeship will be approximately 12 months. So we're now sitting down with him and saying to him, right, what's the next step? Where do you
Okay.
want to move on to? How do you want to progress?
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully then he can add value back into our business.
Yeah.
You know, and he's even talking about perhaps doing the next level of apprenticeship, which is a higher rated apprenticeship directly at insurance as opposed to just administration. So, yeah, positive things. Positive things.
Do you need any qualifications?
You need basic entry in maths and English, and then you come out with what they call a level 3 qualification.
What about beyond apprenticeship? Like if I came along tomorrow
Yes, there is
to be an insurer,
Yeah,
do I need to?
There's an internal. You don't need to, but there is an internal program to get your CII examinations. That's at various scales.
What does that?
It's the recognised industry standard,
Okay.
and it's about 3 or 4 different levels that you can apply. There's quite a basic entry level, and then you can progress through, and effectively then you are deemed to be qualified.
And has business grown in that 35 years? Have you seen the business grow? Or
Yes,
I mean, you mentioned less people, but like we said, we're also in a day and age where computers are in play. And
Yeah, absolutely. No,
yeah.
it has grown. You know, we haven't doubled our turnover in that period of time, but it's been good positive growth year on year. You know, we had one of our best years ever post-COVID. I think everyone had shut down and we stayed open and
Yeah.
were working remotely and we're still answering the phones and the emails. Everyone remembered that. So yeah, look, and we're not finished yet. We're still looking to.
We'll come on to that in a minute actually. But so 3 of you in 1991 you mentioned. Peter's still here.
Yep.
MD.
Yep.
You wasn't an MD then, I'm assuming.
No.
The wife
Yes, finance director.
still here.
Yeah. I don't know
So-
what I did wrong there, but she's finance director. So
She's finance
she
director.
controls
okay.
the purse
She
strings.
controls, and the brother-in-law,
Sales director.
sales director.
Yeah,
So all still here,
absolutely.
and
All involved on a day-to-day basis.
all involved in it. And then, but it's not just that generation where it's ended, right?
No. My son was at a bit of a crossroads about 6 years ago.
What had they been doing? What had they?
He'd been to university to study sports science.
Okay.
And really struggled to get any opportunities, I think because of the nature of what it was, even volunteering, he just couldn't get any opportunities. He went and did some work on his own just to keep earning some money. We had an opportunity in our commercial department, which was run by my brother-in-law, and I just said to him, would you consider Jack? So he's not working directly with me,
Yeah.
and we said and no, he's done really well. He always says that his apprenticeship was sort of 20 odd years, because obviously me and Sarah come on and talk about it over the dining table and all the rest of it. So he felt like he had a pretty good grounding.
Any other kids to come in, or no?
Well, unless Jack, he's a single man at the moment, so that's not going to happen. It's not on the horizon, put it that way.
Okay, and that's good to see, right? Following mum and dad's footsteps.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I can't remember exactly what the statistics are, but I think the second generation surviving the first generation is relatively low percentage. The third generation surviving the second generation is even a lesser percentage. So yeah, we're very proud of that, and I think it fits very well with our relationship ethos, that we are a family business. We talk a lot about staff being extended families, and I know it's a well-worn phrase, but we do think of it that way.
Okay.
And if you can treat everyone in the same, every stakeholder, customers, suppliers, staff, you carry that all the way through, then it's embedded into the bedrock of the building.
What does next chapter look like? What does next 5 to 10 years look like for Ashbourne?
I think we want to carry on. I know we want to carry on in terms of that growth. I think technology is advancing at a very, very rapid rate of knots. And I think whilst we never want that to overtake what we're doing to build relationship and rapport with customers, I think we'd be daft if we didn't understand how that could improve the back office a little bit.
Yeah.
Make our advice more pertinent and streamline that. There is more diversification. Things like cyber and data insurance are becoming more prevalent. Everyone is touched by digitalisation these days, and that carries with it a number of different risks. What I'd like to think is that as a broker, we can remain at the cutting edge of all that's new and different, and that helps us with our advice piece to our customer base.
And again, with Ashbourne, I mean, location doesn't matter, right? You don't have to live locally to...
No, absolutely not.
Or have a business locally.
We can insure anyone in the British Isles. I've got to be honest with you, I think something like 70% of our clients are within a 30-mile radius of this office.
Okay.
And there is a benefit both to them and us for that, because of the knowledge we have of the surrounding area.
Okay. So, looking at, you've come into the business, you've grown it successfully, you've diversified as well, from what you're saying, and you're looking at new avenues. For any young budding entrepreneur out there at the moment, what's the top 3 tips for longevity and to grow and develop a business?
I think nowadays you have to try and find a niche. It has to be something a little bit unique, just because of the way, you can't immediately have 45 years worth of experience and credibility and this, that and the other. So I think with budding entrepreneurs, something new, something innovative. I guess from my point of view, you need to stick with it. You need to be determined. Have your focus, have your ideas, and be belligerent with it and stick to it. If you think you've got a great idea and you think you can make it work, and that's the other thing. Don't be scared of hard work.
Don't be scared of hard work. And sometimes people give up that a little bit too easy, don't they? When the going gets a little bit tough.
Yeah, it's probably our generation saying that though. But yeah, hard work never killed anyone.
What's hard work?
Yeah.
What would it mean to you, hard work?
Oh, I'm.
They all think they work hard.
Yeah, I'm probably still a bit old school. I mean, I'm one of those that feel as though I have to be the first in and the last out.
Okay.
I even think I still need to frank the post.
Okay.
I don't want to, but I need to know how to do it. I realise that you can't do everything, and I think as the business has grown, we have to accept that, and you learn to delegate, and that helps your business progress. I still get involved in looking at the MI on a weekly basis, and I cast my eye over it, and I make sure I know where we're at and where we need to be.
Yeah. Last question. What's one of your success stories that you're like, if they didn't use you, they would have been in a bit of trouble, without naming the business or the customer? But who do you think benefited from your services?
We had an instance recently where local client, reasonably large client, they changed their operation manager. He decided that he wanted to go a different route with the insurance, which was fine. At the 11th hour, we said to him, look, just show us what they've quoted you. And because of the knowledge and experience that we've got, we were able to indicate to him that, yes, that policy was slightly cheaper, but there were 2 or 3 fundamental clauses in there that would have meant, had he had a problem, he wouldn't have been covered.
Right.
And that was quite close to the heart of the business owner. And fair play to the operations manager. He came back to us and he was very thankful you know, and appreciated the expertise that we had and the advice we were trying to give him, rather than just
So in that instance, fortunately, it wasn't something that had happened.
No.
It's something that might have happened.
Correct.
Okay.
And there are, you know, obviously from our perspective, that's really where we need to be, because we don't want anything to happen. Whether you're insured with us or not, we don't want you to, you know, because by the time it happens, it's too late.
Yeah.
So, you know,
we can intercept it.
working really hard up front, understanding what it is, you know, maintaining those relationships so you're close with your client over a long period of time will ultimately pay benefits to them in the long run.
And we say that all the time with rental insurance for our landlords.
Yeah.
You never think you need it.
Correct.
Until you need it.
Yeah.
Same with a car insurance and with anything, right? That's the short and end with insurance, right? If you don't think you need it.
Absolutely. I remember when I first started this industry, someone said to me, as a customer, don't get two lots of pain, right? Because paying your insurance premium is painful. It doesn't matter whether it's £5 or whether it's £500, it's painful, right? But if it's wrong, you're not going to get paid out on your claim. Well, that's doubly painful. So don't get two doses of pain. Just make sure you get the right single dose of pain in the first instance.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, look, Peter, appreciate your
Very welcome.
time today. And for any businesses out there, for any people, the website will be sort of below. So reach out to Peter and let him give you a quote or give you some advice, if nothing else, right?
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Thank you,
very
Peter.
much.